When the crypt doors creak and tombstones quake, spooks come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Happy Halloween, everyone. I wait till a special occasion every year to do a little sing-song, you know me. And this year I've come dressed as, just 20-something guy having a grand old time. Look at me. Having a great time. In this house, we celebrate Halloween more than Christmas, and that's not an exaggeration. It's why I go all out on the YouTube schedule every year. So here's 3 more gothic-y, but like Scooby-Doo gothic, facts I could find involving witches, Dracula, and Pongloy Mygloif Naf Cthulhu Railia Waganagl Fatagan. Is that Welsh?
In his house at Railia, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming.
Oh, shit, well I don't want to hear any of that. Let's have us a nice fun time with fact number 1. Harry Sullivan freed the Carrier Knights. For a character who only travelled with the Doctor for 1 season, I think Harry Sullivan has one of the strangest timelines in the series. For reference, this is a character who has become a decomposing zombie before, gone internet viral famous in #HarrySullivan, became the head of unit at some undisclosed point of time, split up units about a day later, had his head turned into a goat's head. In Scratchman, I didn't like that. At some point, Harry Sullivan has a split timeline, because Revenge of the Cybermen and Return of the Cybermen curiously contradict each other, almost like a soft reboot of that TV story. Does that mean 2 Harrys? I don't know, I have a headache. But also, right before his departure story, the 3 Carrier Knights from the Shakespeare Code break out of their glass ball and attack the 4th Doctor with Harry and Sarah. I don't get it either. They're in a time machine? So what I can only assume is in the middle of a space-time paradox. In this spooky Doctor Who tale, Carrier Knights drowned Sarah in an attempt to get the Doctor's name out of her mind, so they could curse him. I'm guessing nobody invited them down to Trenzalore. Carrier Knight have a weird bit of lore, not thanks to Grubberts. The Eternals banished them at the very beginning of time for fighting a proto-time war with the crap baddies, the ones from Forever Autumn. Which is a real deep dive into Doctor Who book lore. Don't read that book though. Halloween season or not, it's not very good. To save Sarah from a sudden witch invasion of the TARDIS, Harry grabs the glass ball and trips over, shattering their prison and releasing them onto the Doctor. But at that exact moment, there's Reapers outside. Cool.
The clap of my space-time paradox has alerted the bees.
They come trick-or-treating looking for a snack on the TARDIS doors. The Doctor politely lets them into his TARDIS, and both monsters eat each other. I then assume the Reapers politely left, because the story takes us immediately into the beginning of Terror of the Zygons. So I don't blame Harry for leaving, I really don't. The expanded universe tells us that he only left the TARDIS because he got tortured by robot psychiatrists and beaten up everywhere I go. Yeah, fair enough. I don't even understand the technicals of how this story happened in the first place, but it's a nice little distraction of a side story. The Doctor must have been as miffed as I am, honestly. Currently in the Whoniverse, Harry Sullivan is still missing, as a certain run of Sarah Jane Adventures, but not those ones, started a plotline and then never concluded it because Sarah Jane Smith was needed on television, leaving Harry Sullivan abandoned, not in a lost timeline, in a lost storyline. Over there with the silence and Captain Jack's memories. Before Harry Sullivan went missing, which is also mentioned in the Sarah Jane Adventures, Harry managed to cure AIDS. He found a cure for the AIDS virus. Harry Sullivan found a cure for AIDS. Thank you, Damaged Goods. Thank you, Russell. Show me that version of It's a Sin, please. Oh, and also he developed a Zygon killing gas. And they could have used it in the Zygon inversion, but the Doctor said, no, we only use the genocide gas when I say so. Harry Sullivan could have one-shotted the Zygon inversion. No speech needed. Fact number 2. The vampires. Coming up yet again on this show, I don't have a fixation, they do. Vlad, Nos, Drac, I know them all. You know how I always do my shtick saying there's multiple different iterations of this fictional character? Well, Dracula's is actually explained in the text. Lord Dracula, don't laugh, actually existed in the realm of quantum possibility. Jinkies.
Do you guys just put the word quantum in front of everything?
This means there are many different explanations for what Dracula can be, and they can all coexist. Just like every other character in the series. Thanks, Faction Paradox, for reinforcing absolute canonical purity. Sometimes he is a fictional character. Sometimes as a historic prince that shared the same name. Sometimes he's the real deal. Count Dracula infamously did fight in the War in Heaven, which automatically makes it better than the Time War. But he also had a side gig working for Meow, the Ministry. Meow is Iris Wildtime's parody version of Unit, and she often works for them and alongside Count Dracula.
Or abandon all hope of seeing the sun again.
You stop that.
But on screen, I'm talking the TV series. We did it back in the 1960s. Let's talk about The Chase. Part 4, Journey into Terror.
I am Count Dracula.
You can't be. I mean, not really.
It's gone.
Halfway through The Chase, the Doctor and company arrive in a haunted house, encountering a cartoony Universal Hammer horror, Count Dracula and Frankenstein, then promptly leaving without giving a single explanation as to who they were, how they could exist, why they could survive Dalek rays, and what drugs the Doctor Who producers were on at the time. This is the best episode in Classic Who, so don't think I'm bashing it when I say that. I'm glad they've actually come back to this one. Some media since has tried to insinuate this was the land of fiction, and they arrived there a couple seasons early. But the novelization has a much weirder take on it. Like all of the best Target novelizations, this expands on the original material and includes background and scenes that weren't in the original broadcast. This includes an entire backstory on the character Morton Dill.
Where are they? They just left.
Let me stress, that's like Chris Chibnall stopping the plot to tell you the entire life story of this guy. You know what? I wouldn't complain about that either. In 1967, he was locked up in an insane asylum permanently because he told people about the Dalek that he saw that day. The Dalek that just wandered off, deciding against killing him because it'd be much crueler to leave him to his actual fate. How is that fair? Why does the Dalek have historical knowledge of historical figure Morton Dill? Sorry, I need to move on. Dracula? The novelization tells us this was a fun fair, and that Frankenstein and Dracula were both robots. Animatronics that can throw entire Daleks. What, are we in the far, far future? What sophisticated society could build such powerful animatronics? Oh, you know, Earth, 1996, in Ghana. The Doctor makes a hypothesis about somehow landing in the world of human imagination.
Yes, it exists. In the dark recesses of the human minds, millions of people secretly believing. Think of the immense power of all these people combined together makes this place become a reality.
But no, he was actually just completely wrong. But it's really just an abandoned funfair attraction for the Festival of Ghana. Unbridled madness. Full video coming in the near future. And fact number 3! Lovecraft was right! Clarification, asterisk, right about some things. More about his own mythos and not his racial views. Important clarification. The Necronomicon is real. The Necronomicon is a Doctor Who text. Or maybe it's more fair to say that Doctor Who is canon to the Necronomicon. The Doctor has met author H.P. Lovecraft before. In his 6th incarnation, he vowed he never wanted to cross paths with the man, and he came out of that story with a black eye. But his 8th incarnation had seemingly renounced this moral standpoint, and joked about going to go and get ice cream with him, as they were good friends. He'd babysit his cat and everything. What was that cat's name? And I know as far as writers go, he's pretty foundational in the combination of horror, fantasy, science fiction. He laid the groundwork for quite a lot of that. It's only natural that Doctor Who would incorporate some of his ideas and influences, even if unconsciously. But I didn't expect the 7th Doctor to personally go to the tomb of Cthulhu and make sure he's still buried under wraps. With Sherlock Holmes, no less. In the Doctor Who universe, pretty much everything in this book is legit. The Nestine consciousness, we said before, that's one of the elder things. How about the Web Planet? Oh yeah, the big bad of this one all the way back in 1964? Please be 1964, please be 1964. Was one of the great old ones from the pre-universe, written about in detail in the Necronomicon. Wow, look at you, the Animus. Who could have known? I'm just saying the Web Planet is a lot of things, but Eldritch, I wouldn't have said was one of them. Also in this pantheon of nightmare gods, we have Dagon, a god worshipped by the Sea Devils. Azathoth, worshipped by the Silurians and the Shobogans. The Archons from this completely unrelated book. What? There's also Fenric, and the Celestial Toymaker. Okay. Lovecraft would have loved the Celestial Toymaker. This fact is really fun because it made me actually have to get the Necronomicon off my shelf for the first time. Now, Cthulhu, the big man, as I like to call him, is either a original creation by H.P. Lovecraft or an actual sentient being that the 7th Doctor met in Haiti. Both of these facts have to be true independently because 2 different stories depend on it. And now it just starts getting silly. Dig deep enough, and there are theories that this outer god, Nyarlathotep, Lovecraft's most feared, powerful entity, was actually the other, one of the founding fathers of Gallifrey and eventually the Doctor. So chew on that one. He is the thing from the void. He is more than a man. He is the troubler of the gate, the walker with 1,000 forms. He is the thing from the void that mocks the blind apes of truth. He is the dark messenger. Yeah. Now again, did H.P. Lovecraft come up with this guy? Or was he named by Rassilon himself? These stories don't go together, surprisingly. There's also thousands of the original Necronomicon. The Master owns one in his TARDIS. The original has magic powers. In one of the Master's funniest schemes, he gives the book to Jamie McCrimmon, who in turn gives it to the 2nd Doctor, who, just by touching it, is teleported to an alien planet, thrown into a trap. Don't accept racist texts from bearded men, Jamie.